So just taking a look at Atlas trucks here. This is a set I've been using for just over 1 year now, and I just wanted to take a look at some of the problems and issues that I've had with them and how I've gone about resolving them myself. Obviously it's a pretty beefy truck compared to a lot of what's out there. The beautiful thing is they're really solid in their construction. Here is the hanger. It just has a nice feel about it, and they feel really strong, and that can only be a good thing. And the downside of that obviously is it's a little bit heavier than your standard set of trucks. You can see the pivot there is a giant ball. That does have some advantages in theory, because it obviously means it can turn a lot more freely, which can only be a good thing. But one of the problems I've had with it is it can make the truck feel very twitchy in this position, and once you get to about here it starts to really firm up and feel probably good, or what I'm used to and what I like the most. So it could put you in a position where as you're turning through here it feels like there's two different positions, and if you're wiggling between the two like this, maybe you're going around a corner at a high speed and you're making a lot of different adjustments on the fly, it can get really twitchy and quite scary, to be honest, and it's throwing me off a lot, and it's not really a good thing in the big scheme. So some of the things I've done to alleviate that is by running this type of washer on the bottom. I am just about 78 kgs, and I'm a very strong person, so I'm quite solid, and that's really firmed it up quite a bit and given me a nice seat there. It's also probably a lot softer than what companies would recommend, but I've just experimented and found for me that's the good one. And on the top I'm running one of these bad boys. So as you can see, it's a very firm and secure seating setup, but because the bushings are quite soft, it just has a slightly different feel. The hanger can be flipped. In the normal position I found it was just really tall, very twitchy, and really exaggerated the negative effects of the truck. But by flipping it around, even though it makes it feel very dead and lifeless, it does give you, well, I perceive it as being a lot more stable, and eventually you get used to it and realise that there are some drawbacks there. But ultimately, compared to say a truck like a Randall, it doesn't feel as fun or as lively or as exciting, but it's a hell of a lot safer, and I fall off a lot less, and it's made me a better skater. So it doesn't feel as cool initially, but the end result is that it's improved my skating a lot. These are just some old wheels, ignore them. They do have this part here, which is the axle was machined down from 10mm to 8mm, I believe, so you don't have to run a washer on there. And I think that's a really awesome feature, because if you think about it, a washer is just a horrible, crappy little thing that's going to fill up with crap and gunk, and it's absolutely pointless having it on there. But this is amazing. I really love this. So they are very tough truck. So yep, that's how I have it set up. Very dead, but it does actually make a huge difference. And with this type of bushing on the bottom, I can do everything. Yeah. So the board is acid, made by New Zealand, in New Zealand here. It's a pretty sweet ride as well. Very heavy and very solid as well. So a truck like this actually complements this type of board, because you end up with something that's a bit of a tank, but overall it just feels meaty and confidence inspiring. So that's my opinion on Atlas trucks.